and welcome to Star Lighthouse. I'm Prashant, and this is weekly reading for Sun, Moon, Venus rising in Cancer. This is a general read, so please take all the messages that resonate with you and leave everything else behind. And if this reading does connect with you, there is an extended to it. The link for that extension is below in the description box. Cancer, how are you doing? How was your Thanksgiving? Hopefully it was exciting. Hopefully you were able to connect with your family, even if it was virtually. Like I know it's like during COVID it was hard to travel, but hopefully you were able to connect with them. Let's see what's going on with you. Let's focus on the thought or the feeling, the question that brought you to this reading. Take a deep breath. Exhale and let everything else go. Just focus on that thought, the feeling, and let's see what's going on with you. Two of Chalices. Mutually beneficial relationship being blocked by Two of Wands. Trying to find the right opportunity, select the right opportunity out of many opportunities available. Past situations, justice, finding your own values. So justice is a card that points towards understanding the core values that you want to stand for and take, like you want to raise your voice for that. So you start understanding your core beliefs and your value system. Like everyone's models could be different. It's a bell curve of it, and so everyone's models can be different, but who they are is a representation of that core model system, core value system that they have. So you are identifying, or you have identified the core beliefs and values that you believe in. So that has shifted your approach towards looking at finding right opportunity to grow. It's not just about money, but it's also about having an emotional contentment in such situations. Mind's ambition, finding the inner magician, finding that alchemist inside who can use that unique ability inside you. Everyone has a unique ability. Like because of the population size, most of the people seem to have similar abilities, but everyone has a uniqueness inside them. The way they express, the way they communicate about their work, and that kind of describes what kind of work they would be good for and how they can actually make gold for themselves, like an alchemist out of thin air into gold. So basically, how to create your own personal wealth rather than acquiring someone else's wealth. That's what a magician represents. And you understanding your own truth, that Justice card, has allowed you to look at yourself from a very different perspective. Previously, you might have had allowed other people to take judgment of your own abilities and let them decide what you are good at or not. But now, while finding your core belief, you started understanding you are your own institution to look up to. What I mean by that is, rather than looking outside for assessment of who you are, you're looking inwards, and that's allowing you to find your truth, and that's has shifted your perspective at looking at how you have approached your life and career in general. And it could even be relationships too. It's like it has shifted that perspective because you started understanding that within yourself resides this ability that you want to start expressing. It might take a while for you to master that ability and become an actual magician to create gold, but you are like at the starting footsteps of it. Heart's Desire, High Priestess. Another card pointing towards finding inner clarity, finding a balance between what logic suggests and what emotions suggest, what rationale suggests or what irrationality suggests, like what would look like an irrationality. You're finding a balanced path, like you're finding your inner high priestess within that understanding between the sun and the moon, between intellect and mystery. You're finding that balance. And that balance is very great. So it's like magician kind of manifest. And then, oh sorry, it's like magician not just manifest, it's like kind of identifies a way to create. And then high priestess ponders on those things to understand what can actually be created from that ability. So once you've figured out the unique ability in yours, it might not be that far away from the career you have been in so far. If you were in a specific career, they might, for a very long while, there might have been a reason you were there. So don't discard all your experience about it. If you are shifting careers, or if now you're shifting jobs, don't discard your previous experience as completely negative. Always there's learning inside it that seemingly makes you this magician. But now you find that unique ability that you need to master. Once you master that ability, then you will start understanding that, okay, this is my unique selling approach towards who I am, and then other people can sample me from this aspect. Now that you understand, you start pondering the dreams that you want to make reality. You try to understand, you find groundedness within to find a balance between intellect, logic, of based out of understanding this new ability, and then dreaminess, the emotions, finding a balance, finding a realistic scenario as to how your abilities can actually make your inner magician convert thin air into gold. So it's a process of understanding. Once you start understanding your core beliefs, that creates this mindset within yourself that the institution that you should be seeking lies within. Rather than asking other people for their opinion about or the assessment about who you are, you should ask that inwards, and that in a way allows yourself to, like in the moments when you feel that your advice was correct, then you can find a new certainty within that yes, my inner advice was correct. And if you realize it was incorrect, then again there's a certainty within that, okay, the next time I don't want to repeat that previous action. Now if it was someone else's advice, if it was correct, it doesn't give you any benefit. You still get hooked onto their advice because now you start thinking that their advice is great. And if their advice goes bad, you cannot say anything to them, rather, and it also doesn't give you any certainty should you reapproach them or not, because then you think it could have been different situation because our mind tries to correct any incorrect assessment of other person. So instead of letting other people assess you or give you advice, seek that inwards. And that happens once you start finding inner core values and finding this truth, this justice within. That changes our approach towards life, that changes how we look at life, and that changes us. So that shifts us from a perspective of trying to follow someone else's path. Instead of that, we start creating our own path. And for that, we need to find the inner magician, the unique ability within, then master that ability, then try to find balance, the groundedness within, the groundedness that would allow us to use that ability in a realistic way at the right opportunity. So there are now a lot of twos. You have 2 of chalices, 2 of wands, and the high priestess card is also clear. Future situations, 6 of coins. So this, I think, and I feel this card is pointing towards, so 6 of coins is a card that suggests towards philanthropy, like sharing your energy outside, sharing your abundance outside. So a thought came to me when I was thinking about the magician card for you, and when you have discovered this new ability within, or an old ability that needs to be remastered. The process of mastering that ability by itself would take time. And one way of doing that is you start sharing the output, like of daily effort of that. It's like if you want to learn martial arts, so after putting in some effort, few months of training towards it, then you go out in different like right now it might be hard because of COVID, but the idea is that you go out for competitions step by step, you start increasing your skills, you keep upgrading yourself. So different art forms, different, if not just art forms, like different skills. Once you discover that skill, you need an arena to start practicing it and then showcasing it so that you can keep upgrading it for better results in the future. And the easiest way of finding that space is like the communities, online platforms, arenas, like these competition avenues are, you start sharing your energy for free for few months, for few time periods, depending on what your balance suggests. But the idea is you start sharing it with the community for free, and that sharing by itself would bring in the right people, bring in the right opportunities towards you, and that's how you will find this right opportunity. Eventually, even bringing in the right relationship or people that would help you avail more correct opportunities in the future. Suggested advice or action: Two of Swords, another card with two. In context with this advice or action, Six of Wands. So Six of Wands is a card that points towards social recognition or growth in it. And Two of Swords is a card that points towards conflict. So there could also be a scenario that the Justice card is pointing towards you letting go of an old situation. Instead of trying to find a confrontation or an argument in that scenario, you're trying to look within. You're trying to look within with the High Priestess and Justice to find an inner closure. So what I mean by that is, if someone, while you realize this truth of yours, if you realize that, or maybe the reason of you getting pushed into a direction to understand who you truly are, understand your core values, the reason for that, if that was a conflict or an argument or a negative situation, whatever it was, you letting go of finding a win in that situation, rather moving towards a different perspective, rather taking a positive road, yes, you're taking a positive road, and rather getting stuck in the past, you're moving into this clarity within that you're trying to find a closure, and then you're moving on. You're letting that other person or other situation be. And that by in itself, when you will share your work, it would be showcased in your energy, in your vibration. It's like it would come out from, like your mind would sense freedom and it would express with freedom. Sensing and expressing with freedom would put you along with the right people. Six of Wands is like you would have an increased social recognition and reputation. If not accolades, it would bring in the right people and right opportunity. So you are moving in a great direction where you are choosing your own path, you're creating it by finding your own inner magician. You finding in a balance will help you move in the right direction. See, understand that creating your own path now also means that you have to make your own choices. You can reference some old stories, you can reference some old patterns, old people, like some other people who might have gone through similar situation, and try to see what their decisions were and why they made those decisions. But finding that clarity, finding that choice and understanding within to be able to make that decision with 100% certainty, even if not 100% certainty, with like majority of your mind being saying yes towards it, you have to have an inner clarity. And being able to make those choices with 100% certainty allows you the freedom, or like even not 100% certainty, with that great certainty, allows you the freedom to create your own path. Then you don't have to follow someone else's pattern. You don't have to follow someone else's footsteps. You're free to create your own. And the best part of creating your own is then there is no previously set perceived metric of success that you have to try to achieve. Now you can set your own metrics for achievement. That's how you find like that inner contentment, and inner contentment makes relationships that you create easy to handle and easy to deal with. So hopes and fears, another card of the six of chalices, and potential outcome, page of wands. So six of chalices is a card that points towards still reminiscing about some of the old that has happened, and somewhere there is this minute hope within us that we want that old to work out in some way. What that psychologically means is that old situation represents a pattern that we want to fix. So instead of hoping those old people would come back, just understand what the fix needed to be. Because believe me, that old pattern, old situation would rehappen in the future, and you will be given an opportunity to fix your mistake. Now in this scenario, your mistake was not able to fully believing in yourself, not able to stand up for your core beliefs, and getting pushed out of your old path by a conflict, or by just realizing that you were in a different space altogether. You might not have been even in the correct career. Now your magician is letting you find that career. So now, because everything else is moving away, it's a very human tendency to feel that we have a connection to it. Connection to what is being let go of, what is like leaving us. So don't be too critical about yourself when you feel that, when you're feeling the memories of the old, but rather getting stuck in them, just acknowledge them and just let them float. If you get stuck in them, then they will stay stuck in your memory. Being stuck in your memory, then you would not be able to go past by, and then you would just seek that situation in hopes to fix it. So let that go, and once you do, you will feel very light, because now you have truly found your own truth, and letting go of the old would let you understand the balance between your emotions, which previously got corrupted by staying in a negative situation. Finding that balance between now the positive and corrected emotions and your new abilities and the reality. Once you start expressing with such clarity, with such inner belief, finding the right opportunities would look like as if you're just dreaming in the night and next morning they show up. It literally would feel like that. That how in this page of wands card, it looks like fairies come by in the night, and everything else in the morning magically appears. It's like the elves are working for you in the night. So Cancer, you're moving in a very great direction by finding your own truth, finding your core beliefs. Keep moving forward. If at any point there's a disbelief, keep moving forward. In case you were interested in numerology, there are 4 cards with number 2 and 3 cards with number 6. 4 cards with number 2 clearly points towards like you are moving in a very stable situation, stable mindset for yourself, a very balanced platform. Previously, that platform was like built on other people's beliefs and value system, and you might not have fully believed in some of them. So whenever there was this like psychological emotional storm, one of those foots or something, like the balance kept shaking, and eventually that platform went away. These tools, like all four tools, suggest like you're rebuilding that platform by recreating stable, secure, balanced mind approach. So you're moving in a great direction. Keep pushing forward. Just don't get stuck when you feel the memories of the past. Rather acknowledge them and let it be. But don't try to recreate that. Just learn the lessons from the old. Why you could not stand up for yourself, why you had to be pushed into direction of this finding your own truth, finding your own justice. And also acknowledge, appreciate that it happened, because that has allowed you to look at your life from a very different perspective. Learning that you have a magical power within which makes you completely unique. Once you master that power, you can actually create dreams into reality. So let's move into that direction. Let's create our own path. Let's stop following other people's footsteps and let's move towards that direction. Now, suggestions towards moving forward when you are expressing this ability and trying to find the right opportunities so that you can further grow. Start sharing, start finding open source platforms, start finding online platforms where you can share your work with the right community. You can allow people, like-minded people, to find your work, sample it so that they can understand who you can, like what you can truly fit into, and if there is a right fit, believe me, they would approach you and provide you with the right work. Six of Wands is a card that points towards increasing social recognition, letting go of the old, finding a closure within yourself. Moving forward by itself creates a very positive vibrancy. Not looking for confrontation creates in itself us like a positive self, that we are not here looking for negative energy. And then the kind of work we produce, because the freedom the mind feels in that situation, the kind of works it produces is very innovative and unique to us. That innovativeness and uniqueness will bring in the right people and the right work. You will get to a spot where it will start seeming like that you dream in the night and the next morning that dream becomes reality. So let's keep creating your own path. Cancer. I hope this reading connected with you, it resonated with you. And if it did, I have an extended to it. In the extended, I would further look at how we can keep progressing and balancing the mind and heart, not get too like airy and like float into dream space. How to find that balance and groundedness. Wisdom of the Oracle, messages from the Oracle on how to progress forward, and timing related to the next opportunity that would come your way. If you would like to join me in the extended, the link for that is below in the description box. I hope you liked the reading, Cancer, and if you did, please do like, subscribe and share. Thank you for joining me and have an amazing week. Bye.